Hello, everyone. This is Dave from Dave's Resend Things. You know, here on my channel, I love doing a grapevine wreath for Christmas, for spring, for fall, for whatever season it is, for Halloween even. I just love grapevine wreaths, and I think they are a great option for brand new wreath makers. They're easy, they're simple, you don't have to worry about cutting and measuring and the deco mesh and the pipe cleaners, and I'm getting out of breath just thinking about it. So a couple of years ago, for the first time, I painted a grapevine wreath for Halloween. It was a raven wreath with feathers. I loved doing it. It was a little bit outside the box, which we all know I do love on my channel as well. Today I thought, let's paint a grapevine wreath of vivid color for spring. So today's grapevine springtime wreath. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made.
I'm using an 18-inch grapevine wreath that I found at Michael's. This 2.5 and 1.5 inch wired ribbon. This spray paint, this is in yellow. These pipe cleaners in yellow as well. Now, if you don't want to use Michael's, or if you want a little bit more of a less expensive, you can always find ribbons like these at the Dollar Tree to replace the Michael's ribbons. And Michael's had a buy one get one free, so you know I had to pick up these tulips. Look at the colors. Love the colors of these tulips. And as well, just a little dupe, these were from the Dollar Tree as well. A little bit less expensive to keep that overall cost down. And of course, I'm going to be using my regular crafting utensils today to create this project. I'm going to start off with my grapevine wreath and a little bit of spray paint. I'm going to shake things up a little bit and spray paint that grapevine wreath this vivid yellow color. And I just love how this turned out. I was so happy with the color of the grapevine wreath. And before we continue on, I'm actually going to make my bow. So I'm starting with 2.5 inch wire ribbon, and I'm using the 16-inch mark. So I'm going to create a tail first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squish up that ribbon right in between my fingers, put it into my left hand where I'm going to hold everything. Then with the good side facing up, I'm going to do the exact same thing, create a loop, bring that right to my finger where I'm holding everything, and then I'm going to continue on just twisting a little bit, making sure that good side is still facing up. Using that 16-inch mark, we're going to create another loop and bring up that scrunch section right into that left hand. And I'm going to do this over and over again, creating my loops. And then we're going to create another tail and cut at the 16-inch mark. Grabbing a full-length pipe cleaner, I'm going to wrap that right around the center, twisting it a couple of times to make sure it's nice and secured. So we have 3 loops and 2 tails, and this is our first stage of our ribbon. And I'm going to dovetail both of those tails right at the bottom just to kind of add a little more pizzazz. Then I'm going to move along to my 1.5 inch ribbon, and this time I'm going to be squishing it up right at the 14-inch mark. Instead of squishing it up, maybe I should say gathering it up. Gathering sounds a little bit less harsh than squishing it up. So I'm just collecting that ribbon in my left hand. I'm measuring it, gathering it with my right, and I'm creating my loops, and I'm twisting it such that the good side is always facing up. And then once I'm done creating my 5 loops, I'm going to cut the tail, add a little bit of a pipe cleaner. This is just a half pipe cleaner, and then I'm going to dovetail those tails, again adding a little finishing touch. Then we're going to go back to that 2.5 inch wired ribbon, and our mark this time is going to be 12 inches. So first I do my tail, then I do my loops at the 12 inches, just like I'm showing you here, remembering to twist and keeping that good side facing up. We're doing 3 loops and 2 tails. I'm cutting, I'm adding that pipe cleaner with a couple of twists, making sure it's all secured, and then we're going to dovetail those ends to finish it off. And this is our 3rd section. Now we're working on our final section, which is the 4th, and I'm repeating the exact same process. This time I'm just using the 10-inch mark. So I'm creating 3 loops and 2 tails at the 10-inch mark for our final one. cutting that, adding a twist tie right in the center there, holding it together, and then finishing off those tails with an angled cut, creating a dovetail. Here is our first piece. So this is our first segment of our bow. This is the 16-inch portion that we just did. Now I'm just going to take those pipe cleaners from the 14-inch portion or the next one down and adding them right to the center of that first segment. I'm going to cut off the excess, but don't cut those longer ones. That's how I'm going to attach to our grapevine. And we're just going to repeat the same process, adding our layers all on top, the 16-inch layer, the 14-inch layer, the 12 layer, and then finally our 10-inch layer goes right on top. And then, of course, after we've attached everything, we can have fun fluffing up those bows, because I know I love it here. You love to fluff. So here is our final bow all ready to attach to our wreath. And to attach it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take those long pipe cleaner stems, wrap it around the back, twist it a couple of times, make sure it's nice and secured, and then I'm just going to fold that edge right into the grapevine so it doesn't scratch my door. And then, of course, again, fluff, fluff, fluff. We cannot get enough fluffing on this channel. And I know you all love it out there as well, so that's why I show you a little bit of me fluffing every now and then. But our bow is all on. Now I'm going to pull apart these tulip stems. Now, I figured out that all I had to do was pull on the rubber part of the stems, and they came off beautifully. So I loved how easy this was. No cutting, just pulling. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can attach your florals to a grapevine wreath. Here you can do like a dry spell. All you have to do is stick it in the grapevine. I'm just showing you here that it does stay in. You just push it right into all those branches and it does stay. Or you can actually just use a pipe cleaner, wrap that around, and that's actually going to hold that in place as well. A great way to reuse your florals by not gluing them. But for myself, I'm going to choose the third option where you can just glue it down and then place it right on that grapevine wreath. So all I am doing, I am gluing everything. I'm just putting a little bit of hot glue on those stems, and I am just adding them right in there. And I'm also pushing the stems right into the grapevine itself so it's a little bit more secure. Once I finish that, I'm going to add some leaves. On the right hand side is all done. Now time to do the left, so the whole thing will be nice and full. And I follow that exact same process on the other side. And I do pick up my wreath from time to time, take a look at it, because I want to make sure it's nice and balanced. Once all my tulips are in, I add my leaves, and then of course we are done looking at and making our beautiful tulip grapevine wreath. And I love how that yellow spray paint just really brought out another level and another dimension to this beautiful springtime grapevine wreath. Look at those tulips, the colors. That bow just adds so much color and so much spring into this. And of course, our spray painted yellow grapevine wreath. Have you ever spray painted a wreath before, or a grapevine wreath actually? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious. This is only the second time I've done it, and I love, love, love the results. And I really hope you love this springtime tulip wreath with that gorgeous bow and our spray painted yellow grapevine wreath. Thank you so much for joining me today in the springtime grapevine wreath. I loved making this. I had so much fun, if you can't tell by the huge smile on my face I have today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.